What is up, my lovers and my haters? Sarah B here. Happy fucking New Year. It is 2025, y'all. I'm sure you knew that already, but that's exciting. My first podcast of 2025. It's so crazy that I've had the last 2 weeks off and I've done nothing, not even recorded a podcast. I did my one, obviously, on Beast Games, the premiere, telling you guys I was on it, blah, blah, blah. We all remember we were there. We listened. But yeah, I'm kind of slow, and I don't feel bad about it. I've taken these past couple weeks to just kind of like unwind and really actually like genuinely relax and enjoy my vacation. I never do that. I always go. I even told you guys I was probably going to go to Chicago. I'm very surprised I didn't. People who know me well know that if I even think about doing something or mention something, it's usually going to happen. I'm like, I probably won't. But they're like, you're going to. And they're right. I always do. But I didn't. This time I actually just set my ass down and chilled out. And it was really nice. I binged a lot of TV. I slept a lot. I stayed up till like 4 a.m. And then slept till like noon. I literally did that like the last week. It is going to be so hard for me come Monday to get up at 3:30 in the morning and start my day. I've literally been going to bed when I get up for work. The other morning I went to bed at 4:30 in the morning and I was like, I literally would be like in the studio fixing to start the show at this point. That's so crazy to me. So yeah, I've really fucked my sleep schedule up hardcore. Just made it real nice and difficult for myself starting next week, but it's fine. Who doesn't love a challenge? Am I right? So there's that. I do start back Monday after having 2 weeks off, which is exciting. New Year's resolutions. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about all this, but I promised you guys I was going to talk about Beast Games. So yeah, we're going to do that for sure. And oh my God, I just have so much. I really dropped the ball a little bit for not getting on social media and coming up here and recording podcasts while I was off, because there's so much I want to talk about. I wanted to, do all the episodes on Beast Game and stuff. I have so many questions about that. After I'm done with it all, I'm going to have friends on and stuff. I'm going to have like a big Q&A, Beast Games Q&A in general. I got my what is it, recap or 2024 wrapped for my podcast, and like it showed my most popular episode of my podcast was the spicy Q&A. Anything I do about sex is the top one, is that one. So shocker, sex sells. You guys are dirty bastards. So we'll be doing more of that stuff coming up in the new year. Any ideas you have, anything you guys want me to touch on in specific, let me know and I will do that. But I see where you guys' minds are at. It's cool. It's kind of hard being in this business and doing a podcast. And, it would be so amazing if, I make a little money from this, but if I could actually make a career out of doing my podcast, which is very likely these days. A lot of people do that. It would be amazing. So when you're a podcast and you're trying to think, you've also been in radio and you're trying to think like long-term, big picture, is cussing and being edgy and saying this stuff and talking about sex and being very open. Does it get you more ratings? Does it get you more money? Does it hurt you in the long run because it's a, explicit show? Some people don't want you, but then some companies are willing to take the risk and, go for that. Like it's like a double-edged sword, right? But it seems to be popular and I like talking about it. I like being edgy and crazy and saying fuck. It's my favorite. So I think we'll just continue down that road and see what happens. But anyway, like I was saying, I just have so much I want to talk about, all of this, the New Year's resolution stuff, like Q&A stuff. You guys have like obliterated with me with like questions and comments that I really want to talk about as well. So anyway, hi, thank you to all of the new listeners too that have joined since Beast Games. I've had a lot of you as well. It's a very exciting time. So we'll talk about New Year's and all that later. Right now, we're going to focus on Beast Games because I promised you guys I would. Today, we're going to talk about the episode 0, which is on YouTube, which happened before the actual Beast Games, which is on Prime and was filmed in Toronto. This one was filmed in Vegas, and it was kind of like, what do we have, like the wool pulled over our eyes, and I will get into all the details about that. There's some romance and sex involved as well. I'll get into all the details about that. So tune in or stay tuned. That's what's coming in a little bit. I just wanted to once again say Happy New Year. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me on the Sarah B Show. You guys are amazing. Even if you're here to just hate and troll, you know what? I'm still getting ratings from that and interaction. So I appreciate you as well, my 2025 trolls. And also if you are trying to get on the ball for the new year, trying to new year, new you, be healthy, all that, we will get into that later. But if you want to do a great jump start, I want to tell you really quickly about Go Cleanse. Like I do every time, I will be doing a cleanse myself here very soon. I'm not going to go into exact numbers right now, but I've gained a good amount of weight. Like I'm not even just over the Christmas holiday, but I would say since probably like Halloween, which is understandable. My favorite time of the year, everyone's favorite time of the year. You have holiday after holiday after holiday, and it just gets so easy to put the gym on the back burner and drink everything and eat everything and party hardy, and it has been great. Go Cleanse is awesome. They're having a big sale right now too, so go check it out. I think some free shipping, some percentages off. Once again, you can always do the 11-day, the 30-day. I've explained it a bunch of times on here. It's really awesome. Basically, just long story short is you do a shake in the morning, a shake at night, and then like a 400 to 600 calorie meal in the middle of the day. They've actually changed it up too. It used to be just like, healthy protein or lean protein, vegetables, but now they have like different versions of it, like more keto kind of, or like a carnivore one, which is like more meat and eggs and no vegetables. So you can definitely talk to your coach about that or go look at the different options. But they've always been great, but they've evolved a lot. So there's different options you can do. And once again, like it's just, a great time to invest in yourself, right? A lot of you are doing dry January like I am, no drinking, day 4 of no drinking, what's up? And so you know what? That money you'll save from that, spend it on Go Cleanse. It's a great idea. So if you'd like to join and, get a new healthier you going on while you can, go to gocleanse.com/Sarah. That's gocleanse.com/SARAH. Words are hard, man. I feel like I haven't done a podcast in a year, but it technically was last year. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about Beast Games, episode 0. Vegas, baby, let's go! All right, so once again, I told you guys last time how I applied for Beast Games, how I got cast in Beast Games. I told you all about the premiere and going out to LA and whatnot. So today, we are going to be talking about Vegas, which... for everybody that has watched and sent me screenshots, very cool. Thank you so much. I don't know if you guys watched episode 0, though. So there is an episode 0. It is on YouTube. If you just go to Mr. Beast YouTube channel, he literally calls it like, watch 2,000 contestants compete for the chance to win $5 million or something like that. So that is episode 0. It is actually what happened before we went to actual Beast Games, which is on Amazon Prime and was filmed once again in Toronto. So how this worked out, we got cast and we were told, cool, you're going to be on the Amazon Prime show, like you're on Beast Games, awesome. So of course, like you're stoked, you want to tell everyone, which you can't because you signed an NDA, but you're like, yeah, I'm going to be on Amazon Prime, I'm going to be on Beast Games, like this is going to be great, I could win $5 million, like da-da-da-da-da, whatever. So you're all excited. They sent us our flights, let us know when we were going to fly out. Everything was kind of hush-hush at the beginning, like I said before. You didn't really know, like, the time or the day or where your hotel was going to be. They kind of told you everything, like, right as it was happening, which is crazy, right? Because they just wanted to keep everything as hush-hush as possible, which is understandable. I mean, Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTuber ever by far. And this stuff, word of mouth, with this many contestants, like, it gets out. And so they just wanted to keep paparazzi away. They wanted to keep media away. They wanted to keep it as, like, close to the vest as possible. So they didn't even send us our flight information, the date, nothing until, like, a day before or something like that. We didn't even know what hotel we were going to stay in until, like, the day before. It was all really crazy. And last minute, they also told us, hey, they told us what to bring specifically, which was a pair of black leggings or pants. We had to get them approved. A pair of black tennis shoes, black socks, like 5 pairs of underwear and 5 sports bras for your girl. And all this, you need to bring your 5 pairs of socks, underwear, and sports bras, and a like Ziploc bag, like a mega Ziploc bag with your name on it and your birthday or something like that. I don't even know. So we had to do that. And then they sent us an email saying, hey, actually wear your black pants and your black shoes when you show up to the airport, because we want to fit you guys and like try everything on and approve your outfit and your gear and all that when you get to the hotel. So we had to do that. So everybody that already packed is like, oh, shit, I got to get all my stuff out again and get ready and wear this instead. So, excuse me, getting over a little bit of cold or allergies. Texas weather, you know what I'm saying? 80 one day, 40 one day. We're getting some winter weather next week, but I digress. I'm excited about it. Anyway, so I show up to the airport and I'm all like scared and nervous and also so excited. Like, this is epic, right? I have my black leggings and my black tennis shoes and my luggage, way too much stuff, because I was like, oh, I'm going to be in Vegas. Like, who knows what's going to happen before and after. My idea was like, I want to go see John Mayer with Dead and Company at the Sphere. And then I like learned that while I was there that week, they were like off for like 2 weeks. I'm like, of course. But anyway, I was just like, I know that I'll probably get some time to party hardy before or after. So of course I had to bring cowboy boots and sparkly things and all different kinds of, going out gear and whatnot. And like 30 condoms just in case, magnums and regular, fingers crossed, like whatever. So brought everything I thought I might possibly need. And as I was at the airport, I was like really nervous and, did my normal go to the bar, get a dirty martini. Of course, it's my go-to at the airport. But it was crazy because as I was like, getting ready for my flight, I would like noticed a group of people. They were all talking excitedly and they all had black pants and black tennis shoes. And I'm like, interesting. This has to be Beast Games people. So I went up and I was like, are you guys part of the show? And they're like, yeah, we are. And so like, oh my God. So like everybody introduced themselves and, we all found each other like immediately. It was so much fun. So we all started talking and then all of a sudden I see this super hot girl with pink hair and tattoos and she had black pants and black shoes on too. Or no, actually, my bad, Victoria. You had on jeans that day. I remember they were like, dark jeans. But anyway, you found us and I was like, hey, so Victoria and I met my beastie. We met right there at the airport in Dallas, which is awesome, before we flew out. And it was just cool to meet everybody there. It kind of made you feel better to start like making friends instantly before even getting on the plane. And once we boarded, I actually got on and I sat next to Corey, who became really good friends with later. And one of the other guys we sat next to, he was on what was it? The Mr. Beast Squid Games as well. So we got to pick his brain about what he went through on there. It was pretty cool and crazy. So we met so many contestants and we were all sitting next to each other on the plane. It was really fun. So anyway, basically we get to Vegas, we land. I had a lot of anxiety flying there because I was just like, it was a lot going on, right? It's a big moment, exciting stuff. So we get there and Mr. Beast, his team had given us like this QR code to like log on to their business account for Uber. So basically we got to Uber to the hotel for free. And people, of course, were wilding out and being idiots and crazy and ordering like the most expensive Ubers or like the Uber Blacks or the XLs. And then some people even tipped like $100 on there, which is crazy. Like for like a 5-minute ride, they were just blowing Mr. Beast money instantly because you give people access, they're going to take advantage, right? It was crazy. But it was actually kind of awesome because like later on, like everybody was using that QR code to just kind of go everywhere. So with like Mr. Beast took everyone all over Vegas. I can't even imagine how much money that QR code, like how much money he lost from that. It's crazy. So anyway, we all went to a hotel. We went to the Luxor Hotel, which is like the Egyptian one. It's pretty cool, like a pyramid, and there's like a sphinx, and it was pretty neat. So we get there, and what you'll learn about Beast Games too is there was just so much waiting in line. It was like getting excited, rushing somewhere just to wait. Rush and wait. Wait. So we get there and we waited in line for hours. It was just like zigzagging around the whole building. That people that were actually staying there and stuff were like, what are all these people here for? Like, it was very noticeable, right? So anyway, I think we had to wait hours to finally we had to sign waivers. That's when we found out, like, we had to sign a waiver about where we were going to be. And we found out that at that point we were going to be in the Raiders Stadium, which was so freaking cool. It was the Allegiant Stadium. And so we found that out and again, had to sign things saying we wouldn't ruin it and we would respect property and this and that. And so it was really, really exciting. And the crazy thing too about Beast Games that you learn very quickly, it started immediately and it still happens, is the rumor mill, or as we called it, like the rumor spreading was so crazy. And the weirdest thing about it though is it normally was seemed to be 95% accurate. You would hear something and it kind of always turned out to be true. So basically, as we met at the airport, you met other people, that's when group chats started. So we started a group chat that started with a few of us and then ended up being 30, 40 people. And then we started a WhatsApp group because we ran out of room in the text. And the freaking group chats and the group texting and stuff just grew so rapidly. And that's where the rumors started, because there were people that were in several chats and they'd hear a rumor and then they'd put it in another chat. And it was just so crazy how that all spread. Now, one of the rumors that spread as we were waiting in hours of a line sign to like sign these NDAs and, you know, check to make sure our uniforms fit and all of that. One thing we did hear was that there were several hotels, or some people weren't staying at that hotel. There were people staying at, I can't remember the name of the other one, but there was at least like 2 more hotels we heard people staying at. So we're like, that's weird, because there's like a lot of people here. And then we started hearing that there were possibly more than 1,000 people, that he wanted more than that. And then we started hearing the rumor that this was possibly not even going to be for the Amazon Prime show, that this could possibly be for just a YouTube video to see who makes it on the Prime show, which then like really got to a lot of people, because you're like, you think that you're here and you got casted for like this amazing like chance of a lifetime show, the biggest show ever to be on, you know, Amazon Prime or in general. And you're like, oh, it's just going to be a YouTube video. So, you know, like people started getting kind of deflated from that. But we're like, let's wait till we know the truth. Like nobody knows anything, right? So basically, like I said, we stood in line for a few more hours. And they gave us some food vouchers. We had a little wristband that we had a little Mr. Beast logo on. And they were like, don't turn this around for any circumstance at all. If you turn it around, like turn it over, like we'll see it, you're going to be eliminated. Like basically threatening us, like do not show anyone or tell anyone, don't post any pictures, nothing. The other rule was do not leave your room for any circumstance. They were like, just order room service, you have your food vouchers, that's it. So go to your room, stay put, done. And then, like I said, we tried on our uniforms to make sure our sizes were right for our little Beast Games like jersey. It was super cute. They were different, by the way, than the ones we wore at Amazon Prime, and I will get to that, but yum, Coke Zero break. One day my podcast is going to be so big and famous, and I'm going to be so fucking rich, and I'm going to be like, this broadcast is brought to you by Coke Zero. That's my goal. Coke Zero is going to sponsor me one day. Manifesting that shit. 2025, let's go. Anyway, so once we got up to our room, basically they would send out emails and like texts updating people of things, and the first thing we heard was there were so many of us that room service got backed up. So we were allowed to leave our rooms then to go get food and then go straight back, basically, is all you could do, which was nice because you're in your room for hours. You're like, mind is racing. The group chats are going like crazy. You're like, what's going on? Like, whatever. I don't know. So, we went and got food, and even those lines were like absolutely insane. They had handlers that were out there and like managers and people that worked with the show that were like watching constantly. So it was like really stressful. One thing we did find out later, and I don't know if it was a rumor or not, but we had heard that people actually went out to the casinos and went out to the casino in the hotel and actually went out to the strip and stuff and got caught and got eliminated. Whether or not that rumor was true, I have no idea, or if it was just the people in charge making it up to like make us be good and stay put. I have no idea. I did talk to one guy who actually is from Dallas as well, and he actually did go out to the strip. He went to the Sphere and was taking videos and stuff when he got the email and text saying that like people got eliminated for going out, that you have to stay in your room and stuff. And he's like, oh shit. So he like came back, snuck back in, and I knew a lot of people that actually went out to the hotels and gambled and whatnot. And they were fine. So I don't know. I don't know if that rumor was true or not. I will say, though, we had to stay in our room for 2 days straight, like the day we got there. And then the next day we had to stay in our room all day and all night. And the saddest thing about that for me was it was my fucking birthday. Not that I had anything crazy planned, but I'm like, I'm in Vegas on my birthday alone and I have to stay in my hotel room all day long. So I got, was on social media, all of you guys wishing me happy birthday, and I so appreciated it. And none of you knew where I was, and I couldn't tell any of you where I was or what I was doing, and I felt so alone. So I did a little in-room workout. I asked one of the Beast manager people if we were able to have alcohol or not, because it was my birthday, and she was like, I don't know the answer to this question. I'm going to say, as long as nobody sees you, who cares? So I got a couple little bottles of wine, little mini bottles or whatever, and I ordered steak and mashed potatoes from the steakhouse for dinner that night and had wine, and it was like a nice little, all day in your room being locked up. It felt like COVID all over again or something. So anyway, we were just sitting around waiting basically, and we finally got some instructions. They ended up delivering our uniforms to us that evening. So basically our uniforms were just a jersey that said Beast Games. These were not the same ones we wore on the Amazon Prime show. They were different. They're super cute. They were like blue and white, and they just had Beast Games on the back, short sleeves. And you wore this with your black pants and black tennis shoes. And they also, in the evening time, delivered us trash bags and said, you have to wear these over your uniform in the morning, come down at this time, and meet in the lobby. Bring all your stuff with you. I think we brought all our stuff. I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, we did. We had to turn it in the next day. So anyway, I'm trying to hurry. There's so many details to get into, you guys. So basically, if you guys saw any of the news stories that are out there, and if you haven't, you can still look them up. I'm sure they're still out there. Like, look up Mr. Beast Trash Bags Vegas or something. So basically, we were all like, you know, I think it was 250 people at like each hotel, or 500. I don't know. But we were all standing around in trash bags. And the rumors that got started later, because once we left the Vegas stadium, I'll get into that, there were so many crazy articles out, like with all of these like allegations that went on, and there were so many things that were so blown out of proportion and not true at all. One of them being, oh, the Mr. Beast contestants were forced to be outside in the Vegas summer heat with trash bags on and you know, passing out of heat exhaustion. None of that was true. None of that. Yes, we had trash bags on. We looked like idiots, but we were inside in the hallways, able to sit down. It was air conditioning. Like, nobody passed out. That was all bullshit. So it was just, once again, a bunch of waiting. And the funny thing is, they're trying to keep it secret. But like, everybody that's walking around and like people staying there knew something huge and crazy was going on. So everybody's videoing us. Everybody's taking pictures with their cell phones. And whether or not like he was actually trying to keep it private, or he's just a freaking genius and knew that this was going to get a lot of publicity, and people were like, what is this? And it's basically like free publicity. I don't know, but it happened that way. So basically, we ended up getting on a bus. This is the kind of bad part. They took us to a different hotel that other people were staying at, which then made the rumor true that there was more than one hotel, thus probably being more people than 1,000 people. And they took us to this big conference room. And there were 2 conference rooms, and they divided everyone, and they said, we're getting you guys food soon. What happened was they got like 5 tubs of food, or 5 like little trays of food. People ate that up immediately. So like maybe 10 people got to eat. And out of like, I think 1,000 or 2,000 people that were there, I don't even know. Anyway, basically we were stuck in conference rooms at a hotel all day long, like hours and hours. Like, I think we got there at like 10 a.m. maybe, and we're there till like 5 p.m. or something. It was a really long time. People were like sleeping in corners on the carpet. Eventually, after a few hours, people were complaining a lot, and they brought us water. So at least we had that. But everybody was starving. They wouldn't let anybody leave. They let like 1 or 2 people go to the food court, and then they were like, no more of that. And so nobody could eat. It was really shitty. I mean, I didn't have a problem where I like, have to eat or have medication I have to take or anything like that. So it could have been way worse. I'm sure it was for a lot of people. In my opinion, it was just more annoying and people getting hangry and stuff. So finally, after all freaking day of waiting, I will say it was fun. You bonded a lot with people. We played a lot of stupid games. It was like, we weren't allowed to have our cell phones either, by the way. So we had to turn those off, put them in our luggage. They took it with us. So no cell phones at all. So the way you bond with people is so strong and so quick without any like device to the outside world. We went back to playing, like, we were playing red light, green light. We were playing this like tapping game with our hands, like whatever. We just made so many friends, and it was like feeling like a child again because you're playing all these like kid games. It was really fun. So you just made some good connections, and the alliances started like immediately. Even our little alliance of the people that I met in Dallas, the one thing, like, that's how we got our name. Our group name was called Long Haul because we're in it for the long haul. So basically how we would get people in our alliance or weed people out was by asking, like, would you take a bribe for this much? Would you take a bribe for this much? Are you here because you want to be in the game longer, or you want fame, or you want money? Like, what are you here for? What would be your go price? And that's kind of how you knew people were really, really in it, which is very smart, especially after having watched like Beast Games or, Mr. Beast shows on his YouTube, to just see like who you would want on your team for the long haul. See what we're saying there? Yeah. Anyway. So basically that evening we finally got hauled on buses, like so many charter buses, out to Allegiant Stadium. Finally. And so we get there, everybody's starving, but everybody's like running on adrenaline now. Like, we're at the freaking stadium. Like, what's going on? Let's go. And so they bus everyone out. We're all excited. We're all in the stand, not the stands, but like the concession area. Like they have the whole stadium, like the inside of it, like covered with black curtains so you can't see anything. And there's guards everywhere. The guards, just like in Squid Games, with the weird things on their faces, and like it was crazy. So they weren't allowed to talk. They just were guarding like you, so you couldn't go and look behind the curtains or anything like that. Of course, rumors started spreading. People saying, I saw obstacle courses and this and that, and everybody's like freaking out. So first thing was first, they were actually going to feed us. So we all went around. Everybody got this tiny little cardboard box, but we're like, oh my God, food, finally. Everybody is literally freaking starving. We haven't eaten all day long. They didn't even give us breakfast. And we have a little cardboard box, and we open it. There is a boiled egg. There is a little thimble of a few raw vegetables, like cut up carrots and celery. And then there was like about a half a cup of cold, mostly watered oatmeal with like a little cinnamon sprinkled in it. It was like a prison meal, you guys. Like it literally, maybe even like worse than a prison. I don't know. I've never been to prison, but it just seems it would be like that. I don't know. It was really awful though. And everybody's like, oh my God, are you effing kidding me? So like everybody's trying to eat slow, and like everybody's so hungry. Once again, one of the rumors was that there was never any water offered. Everybody was dehydrated. That is not true. The one thing we never were without ever from start to finish was water. We had more water than we knew what to do with. So F that. Anyway, so we finally ate. They brought us all down to the field, and they kind of like amped us up. Like, you're going to go out there, just go crazy, be ready. And like, we were, oh my God, it was so exciting. We had no idea what to expect when we went out there, and because we haven't seen anything yet. And they finally pulled up the curtains, and everybody just runs out there. And in the middle of the field, there was like a pile of an actually $5 million, like in cash. And this one was legit and real. There was security all over it, like lawyers, people with like phones and glasses, and important, scary people all surrounding it. And Mr. Beast was out there with the money, and everybody was just going absolutely nuts. It was so insane, you guys. So basically he did his introduction. Everybody's going crazy. There's drones going everywhere. We're in the middle of a freaking football field at NFL Stadium. Like, what? It was so crazy. So what we learned really quickly was the rumors were correct. There were not 1,000 of us. There were actually 2,000 of us. And there was 2,000 of us. We were going to compete in several games to get through to get down to 1,000 people, and those 1,000 people were going to compete on Beast Games on Amazon Prime. Okay, I'm gonna try to speed this up. I didn't even realize how like this one episode would take so long, but it's crazy. Okay, so the very first game, they had all of these boulders, and they weighed like 10,000 pounds each, I believe. And so how it worked, they were like, you know, you guys are gonna be on teams of 5. Y'all are all gonna pull the boulders up, and like it was like almost like tug of war. There was a long rope, and whoever got their boulder up last, that team was going to be eliminated. So this was a little unorganized and actually got kind of scary, because all of a sudden, like, they didn't even announce anything. We just saw people at the other end, some of the guards pulling out jerseys, and everyone just took off running. Literally, the only thing I can equate this scene to was the scene from The Lion King, where there was the stampede, and like, was it Simba that like almost died, or I don't even know. I haven't seen it forever, but the stampede scene, it was fucking terrifying. It was so terrifying. So I saw it. We all just took off, and like our alliance was there, and we all wanted to try to get on the same team. And I saw them all handing out like green jerseys. So we're like, let's go for green or whatever. And I just fucking took off. I took off on myself, honestly. And I got a green jersey. And I remember I got punched in the jaw, like in the like upper, like I got like uppercut. And I think it was probably an accident. I don't even know, honestly. But it hurt like really bad. But I grabbed a green jersey. I brought it down, and I tucked it under my shirt and took off running. Because like everybody was just going absolutely nuts trying to get these freaking jerseys and shirts, and like going crazy. People were like taking it from each other and snatching them and pushing people down. There was actually genuinely some people that got trampled here, and some people that got really, really badly hurt. So that is true from the rumors you heard. Not like dying or anything, but it was not a safe situation. They should have just like handed them out, ran. It was just super insane. It was so crazy. So we all tried to get on green, and mostly all of us did. One sad situation that happened, well, I'll go into that in a second. So basically, everybody got paired up into 5 different teams. We were Team Green. Team Green, let's go. So all of us got on to the same team except for one of our friends, Allie. They ended up having a green jersey, but gave it to our friend Victoria, and then they went to get one of their own and were unable to get a green. They had to get a red. So the sad thing about this, and this is, I'm not talking crap, anybody that's listening from Team Red, but Team Red was kind of deemed to be like the weak team because, at least that's what everybody there was saying, because, they were like the slower ones to get the jerseys, and that, the red jerseys were the ones given out to people who didn't have one at the end. So it was a lot of girls, a lot of small people, a lot of older people, and everybody just kind of started talking crap about the red team being like the weakest link or whatever. So all of us were on green except for Allie. Shout out. Love you. And we ended up having to, like I said, pull these 10,000 pound boulders. So as soon as they did the horn, we started going, and we got some time to think about it. And of course you have all these annoying ass people trying to be the leader, but he's like, let's go, come on, we can do this. And like running up and down the line. And it's like, just shut up. Like, who do you think you are? Like, everybody trying to get camera time. It annoyed me instantly, honestly. Like, it was just so awful to me. I just really found people there that I was just not a fan of very quickly. But it's fine. Everybody's trying to seize the moment, I suppose. But anyway, so we had a method our team was going to do. We were going to go one pull, one pull, one pull. And even Jimmy, or Mr. Beast, was like, this is going to be a lot harder than you think it's going to be. And so we assumed that we were going to try to pull and nothing was going to happen, that this thing wasn't going to lift is what we were thinking. He's like, we tested it earlier. It's really difficult, just be aware. So the horn blows, we start to pull, and it starts going up immediately. This thing is light as hell. Everything he said was wrong. So literally our team was just like, run! And everybody just takes off running backwards. I can't even remember who finished first. I think it was orange team that finished first, orange or yellow. I think it was orange, and green team finished second. And of course, red team was last to finish, which was really sad. We lost our friend Allie, said our goodbyes, cried a lot. We had a friend on green team. I think his name was Michael, and he offered to leave and switch his jersey with her, and they wouldn't let him. So anyway, he just left with Allie, which was really, really sweet. He had other things to do, other obligations, religious obligations and family stuff and whatnot, but it was a cool moment. So tears were shed, and from that 400 players were eliminated, which was crazy. So we were down to 1,600 players, and that takes us to game 2. Game 2 was stressful as hell. It was a briefcase game, and basically how it was, we stayed in our same color teams. It was pink, orange, yellow, and green left at that point. So we all went with our teams when we were playing against each other. So I can't remember how many briefcases they had at a time. I'm bad at math and stuff. But basically how it worked is the briefcases either had a green light in them when you opened them that said safe, or a red light that said eliminated. And how it would work is you didn't just guess one. It was actually kind of cool. It reminded me of the map of Battleship, how the ships would be there, and if you hit wrong, it would be red. I don't know. It made me think of that. So basically they would show you the map up on top of which ones were green, which ones were red. And they would show it for 30 seconds and then take it down, and then they blew the horn, and you would have to go touch a briefcase. If 2 or 3 people touched one or were on the same one, they had cameras there that went through and saw who touched it first. So you had to get to a briefcase first that you knew was safe. It actually worked out pretty good because we were all spread out around the field of briefcases, and you're kind of around your friends, so you're calling them I'm going to get this row, the second one, this row, this one. But you could imagine the second this horn goes off, absolute chaos ensued. In this one, there were rumors that people got hurt, and those rumors are true. Again, nobody died, or I don't know if anybody had to go to the hospital, to be honest, but there were some people that got plowed down. One girl, actually, I do remember, got knocked out, and they had to carry her out of there, which was really scary and sad. But anyway, it was chaos. So people were getting knocked over, tables got knocked over. It was just friggin' bulls in a china shop. It was crazy. And so when our team went, it worked out pretty well. The only one who almost got out was my friend Victoria. It was actually kind of shitty, and I hated this. So right before we went, there were these 2 girls that came to start talking to us, and they're like, we want to be in an alliance, and nobody talked to them. They didn't have a group, so they were trying to buddy up with us to go, and we felt bad saying no, even though we already had a group. Well, it turns out we all went for it and picked which one we were going for. Well, somebody took one of those girls' suitcases, so instead she took Victoria's, which is shitty and sucks, but I also get it. You're there to win $5 million. You just met these people. You have to make your decision there. Do you go for another one? Do you get somebody else's? She got it, and she looked at Victoria and was like, I'm so sorry. So Victoria panicked, ended up running, and found an empty one. And there was this guy who was awesome. His name is JC. And he was like, this one. He's like, I know for a fact this one is green. Take this one. So she trusted this random guy and took the suitcase, and she ended up being safe, which was awesome. Like, he totally saved her. And we were very thankful for that. So we all made it. One group got the crappiest deal of all. I can't remember if it was orange or yellow, but he actually, I think it was yellow. He didn't even show them the map. Like, he showed everyone else for 30 seconds. He's like, we're going to do a switch up here. And I don't know if he just needed more people out or if he just wanted to throw a wrench in the game, but he didn't show them the map at all. So they were all coming into us because we had just went, and they're like, which ones were green? So we were helping people from that other team. It was pretty cool teamwork. So anyway, that happened. It was chaos. It was super fun. And in the end, 208 players from that were eliminated. I do think something kind of got off kilter with the next game because it turns out they had, I don't know, everything took forever too. I'm not going to even go into the details about what happened in between all of this. So all the games were filmed at night because they liked the way it looked best in there. They could actually control the lighting themselves instead of being daylight outside. Even though there was a cover on the stadium, they just still liked it better at night. So we would basically sleep during the day, and we would film all night into the early morning. And where did we sleep? Well, everybody got a sleeping bag, and we slept on the floor of the Allegiant Stadium. I'll go into more. I'll do the games and then these crazy details after. So more about that. So hang on. This is all over the place, but man, this is so crazy. So anyway, the next game was by far the worst and also probably the most stressful moment I've ever encountered in my life. It was called Capture the Flag. And basically there were 1,100 flags. Once again, I think there were supposed to only be 1,000, and something happened. There was like a snafu that they had to like redo this because I think these flag numbers were supposed to be our actual numbers in Beast games, but it ended up playing out differently. They had to switch some stuff around. So anyway, basically what happened was they would bring a certain number of flags out on the field is how they explained it. So they could bring out 10 at a time, or they could bring out 100 at a time. And basically there was a red line, and they'd bring out the flags, they'd blow the horn, and you run and try to get a flag. The first person that touches the flag pole, it's your flag. If you say there's 20 flags and like 25 people run, if you don't get a flag, you're out. You get one chance to run. If you cross that line, that red line, and you don't have a flag at the end, you're done. You get one chance. So it is stressful. So the way they explained it, there's 1,100 flags, and there were still like almost 1,400 players. I think there was like 1,392 or something. So you have a good chance to get one, but also not that, you know what I mean? There's still a lot of people that are going to get out from this. So, they were like, don't run too soon. They were trying to give you hints. And so the way we figured it, like all these people are going to run and panic and go for it immediately. We thought, you know what? It could get down to the end and we might not even have to run for it. That was our plan. Well, it did not exactly go that way at all. Nobody was going for any of these effing flags. And so I think it got down to like, I don't know, there were some crazy moments that happened during that. I guess I should go on. Basically, like all your big, like burly guys and your strong guys and a lot of people with big egos and stuff, those were kind of the people that went in like the top 200 flags, you can imagine. And a lot of bullies were like pushing in front of everyone else, and it kind of was crazy. When it got to like flag 69, it was so funny because I think it was like Carl or Mac or one of the Mr. Beast friends brought it out there, and you had to like chase him for it. It was so funny. And then there were some they brought out, like I think it was like flag 420 or something. They also brought out like a $10,000 briefcase, and you could try to go for the briefcase instead of the flags. At that moment too, Colin Jost was there, and he actually like blew the horn at one point and was being interviewed with them. It was really cool to see him there. Oh my God, I'm such a fan, like SNL obviously. So anyway, all that happened, and once we got to like numbers 500, I started panicking a little because there were so many people left. Nobody was going for flags, and I noticed like the highest number he would bring out, he'd bring out like 100 at a time, and at that point, like it seemed really easy to get one, and everybody was kind of working together. Because you had to fight to get to the front of that line to even run, because there was such a crowd there, and people were calling their flags and going for their flags. There were some pieces of shit that did not and went for different ones and became enemies, but still got to go on to the next round. What happened to me and how I found like it was hard, there was like a lot of small people and a lot of women, and they were all in the front blocking it, and they weren't going. And so they'd call their flags, and they'd be like, I'm going, and then they wouldn't go. So they're just like holding the line up, and they wouldn't let anybody in front of them. And they're fighting with everyone. People were getting in actual like fights, like almost physical. So at first I was like upset, and I was kind of fighting along with them. And then I was like, no, like, you got to use politics here. Like, make friends. So I did. I started being nice to them. I'm like, you got this, like this and that, like just working my way up. And then I was like, I'm actually going to go for one. Do you mind? And they're like, if you're really going to go. And I'm like, I really am. So I worked my way up there. I made friends. They said I could go. And I noticed the other thing is everybody was calling the flags up close. There was like 4 lines of flags, and the 4th line back would be like all the way across the football field. Like, it was far. So when I went, I was like, I know the only way I'm going to get this is if I go for one that's far. That's the only way they're going to let me go. And secondly, I was like, I used to run freaking track. Like, I ran fast. I know I can do this. So I picked one. I was like, I'm going for 619. It was not the furthest back, but it was the 3rd row. So it was almost all the way to the back of the field. And I was like, I'm going for 619. I kept calling it 619, 619, 619. I swear to God, standing there at that red line, waiting for them to blow that flag, I swear time has never crawled slower than that. And my heart, I could hear it. I could feel it. It was ba-boom, ba-boom, boom. Like, oh my God. And brrr, and I freaking took off. And I swear to God, I ran so fast, but it felt like I was like, had concrete blocks on my feet. I felt like time was like slow motion. And I was going, and I passed the first flag. I passed the second flag. I am such a good person because I could have easily gotten somebody else's flag, but I went for the exact one I said I was going to get, 619, both hands on that thing, and I got my effing flag, and I made it to the next round. I was so damn happy. I got across. I celebrated with everyone. It was amazing. I have to give a shout out to my friend Victoria, who like almost got out in this one too. It was so stressful. She made it to the very last round, to like the last, like, I don't even know, 10 or 20 flags or whatever, and ended up getting her flag, and then some other girl grabbed it after her. Everybody saw it, but they were still like, oh, it's a tie. You have to do rock, paper, scissors. Are you kidding me? So she had to do that, and she had to do it like 3 times, I think. Oh my God, because they tied on the first one. They tied on the second. It was either 3 or 5 times. It was something insane like that, but she ended up getting the freaking flag, and oh my God, we were so thankful. So like almost all of our friends made it to the next round, which was awesome, except for one who we lost. We lost a good one there. There was a girl I met who actually lives in Florida. Her name is Rachel, and I loved her so much because I had to pee so much. One thing we did get there, like I said, a lot was water, and it was liquid death, and we were drinking so much of it. And plus all the nerves, and they kept being like, go pee now, it's your last chance, which was never true because filming took forever. But anyway, I literally had to pee like every 30 minutes at least. And I know Victoria was always like, oh my God, again. But then Rachel had to pee like as much, if not more than me. And I was like, oh my God, I finally found my pee buddy. But in those games, I lost my pee buddy, which was very sad. So shout out to you, Rachel. Love you, girl. Oh my gosh, my nose is so stuffy. Anyway, so that happened. We were down to 1,100 people, and we needed to eliminate 100 more to get to Beast Games on Amazon Prime. All right, so as we were staying like all week long, we stayed there for like 4 days or something like that, in Allegiant Stadium. And one thing that was out there, they had like all these little platforms, which were weird. They were like black wooden platforms, and they each had a porta potty on them. We didn't really know what they were for. We called them Bathroom Island because we just knew something was going to happen with them. And we all assumed it was going to be 100 people per platform, and you have to like stay on them for a certain amount of time and not give in to bribes kind of thing. And it turned out we were absolutely correct. So there was 1,100 players, 100 players on each platform. And basically picking the teams was like really like awful too, trying to pick your 100 people that won't leave. And as we got on the platforms, we were on for a while. Everybody was screaming, had their chants. Like it was really crazy and fun. And we had just filmed the flag game, and it was actually really awesome because after the flag game, they actually gave us like, they had like treats like charcuterie and like cupcakes and cookies and stuff like that. And we're like, oh my God, like actual good food. It was like a celebration for the people that made it to like that point or whatever, which is why I still feel like that was supposed to be the 1,000 players, but either way, here or there. We picked our 100 people. We all got on our platforms. The energy was high. We'd been filming all night. The sun was coming up. You could see it. Again, we didn't have like actual sun, but it was like a cover was on, but you could see out the windows that daylight was happening. So we had been up for like a full 24 hours at that point. And he brought out 3 bribes at once. And we had only been out there like 20, 30 minutes maybe. There was a bribe for $5,000. For $50,000 and one for $1 million. And when we saw that, even me, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, somebody's definitely going to take that from here. There were so many kids. And even me, I'm like, I said long haul, but $1 million is like life-changing money. Like, life-changing. Like, that's crazy, right? So, basically, they brought out the $5,000 and they would start a timer for like, I think it was 10 minutes. And then they would take it off the table. Nobody bid for the $5,000. Cool. So then they brought out the $50,000 and a woman on this other platform freaking jumped down and ran for it. And oh my God, everyone was going absolutely ballistic. We were all beside ourselves excited. And it turns out they hadn't even started the timer yet, and this woman already jumped down. So I don't even remember. I don't think that they actually gave her the money. I think they might have given her a couple thousand or something, but I don't even think they gave her the $50,000, which is so crazy. And the other insane part is there were a lot of people that were like threatening her. There was one guy that was like ripping his shirt off and screaming. They had to have security like escort this woman out of there because it was like so dangerous. And I felt kind of bad for her because I'm like, yeah, it sucks that you lost, but like, bro, get over it. Like, this woman was like a single mom. Her car had broke down. She didn't have a car and she was trying to raise her daughter like alone. Like, I mean, like, who cares, right? Like, it's whatever they want to do. You're not gonna like murder someone for taking this bribe, but it was like those vibes. It was crazy. But that being said, she got out of there safe with or without her money. Who cares? Because we made it to the top 1,000 players. We were officially going to Amazon Prime, baby. Woo! It was so exciting. I've never felt such like I was gonna say such pleasure like that. That's a lie. But such a like a celebrating feeling. So exciting. It was so freaking epic. So after that, they're like, everybody go get a t-shirt. They handed out t-shirts to everyone. They were Las Vegas Raiders shirts, and we all put a t-shirt on and took a picture, a group photo to send it to the team for like a thank you for letting us use their stadium. And it was official. We were off to Toronto. Not at that moment. We actually ended up going like a month later to actually start filming Beast Games, but it was crazy. That was the most epic moment ever. It was officially daylight. We were all screaming and crying. Everybody was climbing on the pile of $5 million. A lot of people stole money too, which was crazy. It was actually real money. And we were all like literally like standing in a pile of $5 million, throwing it in the air, crying, laughing. It was unreal, you guys. Like, I can't even like... It was just the most crazy experience. I'm probably never going to experience something like that again. It was so insane. So that being said, it was very exciting. I'll go into a couple little more details. Like basically during the competition, like I said, they give us sleeping bags and we all slept on the floor. One of the other rumors that happened, because basically when we were at the hotel, the only question they asked us when we checked in was, are you allergic to olives? And we all thought that was so weird. We're like, are we gonna do like an olive challenge where you have to like carry olives in a spoon and put it in someone else's spoon, or like how many olives you can stuff in your mouth at once, or an olive eating contest? It turns out that the turf on the field was made out of the pits and olives, and that was it. So basically the field was super uncomfortable, and that's what we slept on. But again, we did have a sleeping bag. We sat on this field so much, though, and it, like, went through the pants that I had scars. I think they're finally gone now, but I had, like, scabs and scars from these freaking little, like, olive pits. They were, like, rocks that just, like, ate into your skin. It was awful just sitting on them so much. One thing is I got really well versed at sleeping during the day and around a ton of other people. One of our favorites was just sleeping randomly on the field. If you had a bottle of water, you could put it under your head like a pillow, and it was great. And I would fall asleep instantly. We slept so much, and we slept all during the day. They never turned the lights off. So we slept. They gave us like little sleep masks, and people were just like basically half naked and in their underwear, sleeping in sleeping bags in the middle of Allegiant Stadium. It was insane. One of the other crazy bad things that happened was, like I said before, we were supposed to pack 5 pairs of socks, underwear, and sports bras in a Ziplocs with our names. Well, nobody really got their underwear. They stopped giving it out at a certain point. And so, and they only started giving it out at like day 2 or 3. So everybody was in their old stinky socks, the same pair of underwear, the same sports bra for like 2 or 3 days. It was crazy. It was so gross. Now, aside from that, I will say they had toothbrushes, and they gave us toothbrushes. So we all had a toothbrush. We also had toothpaste, and there was toothpaste everywhere. They had giant bottles of mouthwash, but everybody was using the same mouthwash, and so many people got sick and got COVID and stuff like after that, which is super gross. I actually used it too, which is awful, but what can I say? So there was that. There were always feminine products available as well. There was tampons, pads. They had wet wipes or dude wipes everywhere as well. And like I said, Liquid Death was everywhere. They were also passing out Gatorade after a couple of days. So we had that randomly, which was really nice. And honestly, the best part was every night they would bring out like thousands of Feastables bars, and we would just like eat chocolate, and it was the best because you have this shitty like boiled egg with vegetables and stuff. After like day 1 or 2, they started giving you they had like grilled chicken and rice or quinoa, but they always ran out of chicken, so you'd eat tofu. The tofu actually tasted better to me than the chicken, but it's fine. But anyway, basically we really looked forward to this chocolate at night, and it would give you like this mad sugar rush because it was like 4 days of no caffeine, no alcohol, no nothing. It was crazy. So there was that. Oh my gosh, what else? There were all kinds of crazy alliances being made during the day too. Like people were trying to sleep, but then people were like, let's be in our alliance. I'm the leader. I'm this, I'm that. And it was just like, it was like you think you see in like movies, but it was actually happening here, and it was all real. That's one question I've gotten a lot is like, was any of this made up? Was any of it forced? The one thing they told us beforehand, before the filming, and often reminded us of it throughout, was be yourself. Don't be fake. Don't try to be cool for the camera. Like the more real and natural you are, the better it'll be. So I've been on other TV shows where they're like, can you do that again with more energy? Can you do that? It was nothing like that. This was 100% real and authentic. I will tell you that. So it was really crazy. I'm trying to think of anything other crazy. There were rumors too that like apparently people had sex on the field and in sleeping bags and in the locker room, which to me is disgusting because like nobody showered for like 4 days and was wearing the same underwear and socks and like probably no condoms either. So that was all like, even for me, pretty gross. So good for that. I did have, some romantic connections that I guess I'll get into now. But basically we got out of the stadium. We were all exhausted. It was daylight already. We got our luggage back. We got our phones back. We contacted our families to let them know we were actually safe, which was a great feeling. And it's like, oh my God, my phone again. And basically like slept all day. We were kind of staying sporadically in random hotels. There's some really funny stories about people that got stranded at this awful hotel called like Dueling Pete's or something like that. Or Piano Pete's or something. And apparently it was so bad. There were like roaches everywhere and blood everywhere. And they had to get like taken out of there on a party bus at like 3 a.m. and everybody was getting drunk. I kind of wish I could have been a part of that because that sounds like an epic freaking story. But our story was epic too. We had a great time in Old Vegas. It was super fun. We all went out and celebrated that night together. We all had dinner at a Mexican restaurant and many margaritas were had. They had scorpion shots. So we all took a shot of tequila with an actual like dead scorpion in it, which was so gross, but awesome. And we bonded harder than ever. That is also where I met another contestant. That is where I talked about before. We had the crazy hotel room sex where it looked like a murder scene happened. I'll go into, I guess, a couple more details. I hadn't had sex in many, many months, and I was really horny. And I was, like, celebrating hard because, like, the best thing ever had just happened, that I was going to be on Beast Games. I was feeling good, looking good. Everybody lost so much weight there also from eating, like, a boiled egg and vegetables only and, like, some chocolate bars. So all my clothes looked amazing on me, too. I was like, oh, my God, I swear I lost probably, like, 8 pounds or something in 4 days. Like, it was crazy. So anyway, there was one guy I met, and I won't tell you his name, but he was, I will say, in the top 100. And And I remember he was super hot and we flirted a lot. And then like, I was like so forward and I was like, we switched numbers and I was like, let's meet up later. And he's like, yeah, for sure. Do you want to come to this club? I was like, not really. But like, call me after. And he's like, and I was like, one thing too, I was like, I hope you're okay with this. I'm actually on my period. And he's like, I'm hella okay with that. And I'm like, cool, it's on. But anyway, he ended up calling me later and I think I'd already passed out because I was out like partying and went home. The next day, went to a pool with everyone. It was so much fun. We did a rooftop pool in Vegas. They gave us a ton of money. They paid for all of our food. The Beast Games people did. And basically, we're just like working on booking everybody's flight home. We didn't really know when we were going to go home. It was a little unorganized, but they were doing a really good job at taking care of us. And we were having the time of our life. We're in Vegas celebrating like the biggest thing that just happened to most of us, right? So I had seen a guy at the airport. I had met him right when I got there and I thought he was really hot. And then I had seen him a little after that. I remember seeing him during the, the briefcase game. And he's like, you look so familiar. And I was like, so do you. And then he's like, is it Sarah? And I was like, oh my God, yes. And it turns out this was the guy you guys all know as -10 because it turns out he was 10 years younger than me. But you guys all remember how the story plays out. We all hung out, we drank, we all partied all night, and then had the most insane night of, oh God, I don't even know what, 4 or 5 times in a row while I was on my period, and it literally looked like a murder scene. There were bloody handprints and condoms everywhere and high heels and clothes, and his jewelry broke in the bed, and there was like weed we smoked and joints everywhere. I literally have pictures of my phone because it looked like something that could be on like the cover of like Rolling Stone. You know what I mean? Like when the freaking like Motley Crue partied or something like that. It was so insane. But I broke my streak. I think I hadn't had sex in like, oh my gosh, May, June, July. Actually, I think it only been like 3 or 4 months, but still, that's still quite a long time. But it was pretty epic. So great celebration, great sex, great everything. What a freaking whirlwind of a trip. So that's how it ended. Made it to the top 1,000. They said be looking for emails. We're going to send you information and details on travel dates soon, where we're going to be filming. And as you can imagine, we went home. Rumor mills were flying, where we were going, what we had to do, filling out all the paperwork. When one person would get an email, they would tell everyone, and then everyone would start panicking. Where's my email? Where's my email? Where's my email? Like, it was just chaos. I have to say, as much fun as it was also some of the most like high anxiety and stressful months of my life. But I wouldn't change any of it. It was so effing fun. So that's what happened. That is episode 0 on YouTube in Vegas. If you go to Mr. Beast YouTube, you can watch it on there. You can see me like at the beginning. I think there's some parts you can see me at. You can also see me at the end on the platforms. I'm not sure. I should go watch it again. It was a really fun watch. It has so many views too. It's crazy, like insane. As you can imagine. So anyway, that was it. It was exciting. And next episode of the Therapy Show, yes, I will get into what happened on episode 1 of Beast Games on Amazon. I will also make a list of everything to try to like reel this in. This is like the longest podcast I've ever done, and I still feel like I skimped on some details, but damn, exciting. So there you go. Once again, Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I hope you guys set some great resolutions and achieve all your goals that you want to. I love you all so much. Once again, if you would like to get started with the health stuff, you can go to gocleanse.com/Sarah. Join me in weight loss and cleansing your gut and your body and your mind and all of it. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Once again, if you have any questions, just go to sarahbshow.com. You can leave a voicemail, audio message. You can also type out a question there. And again, let me know if you have any questions and keep them coming, because after I do all of this stuff on Beast Games, I'm going to do a big Beast Games Q&A and answer everything you have there. Thank you guys for everything. And once again, thank you for your continued support. I love you all. And I hope you have a wonderful 2025. Love you guys.